Okay. Hi, everybody. Excuse me for a second. Let me turn this TV down. Here I go with the again. So bear with me as I try to stop saying all the time. All right. I'm starting to get a little comfortable with this because I'm now seeing that this is probably something that I should have done a long time ago and should be doing to help out there. I guess when it says you're going live, that people are still watching you anyway. So shout out to the people live watching me, even though I hit private. I usually go over and look at these videos again to see if it's something that I should put out there so people can, watch it without me making a fool of myself. And this is to the people that are watching live. Hey, man, I don't have any qualms about it. I'm at the point to where as though I'm saying what I'm going to say and hope that it reaches somebody and reaches these kids or somebody who might pick up from it and learn from it. Now, this is the fun part of, or not the fun part, but the not so serious part where you could just talk about your experiences through, going through your life and how it has shaped your life. And that brought me to talking about the barbershop. We have a gentleman by the name of Buddy Lamar Epps, or Lamar Buddy Epps. He owns a barbershop in Norristown, and this man is the best barber that I've ever seen in my life. He was one of those barbers that when you came to his barbershop back in the mid 80s, late 80s, early 90s, if you showed him a picture of what you wanted in your head or in your haircut, like a polo symbol. Back in the day, we used to have like these things, these designers with Polo and Adidas and Nike and what have you, pictures of Michael Jordan. He would put these in he could cut this into your hair. This is how good of an artist he was. He would look at the picture, he would hold the picture in his hand, and then he would carve and shape out the picture of whatever it was that he was looking at, whatever the customer wanted in their head. He was that good. I mean, just superb. I couldn't believe it. One day when I came to, I guess it was probably in the late 80s, and I said to myself, and I said to one of the guys, I said, where'd you get that haircut, man? I said, who put that polo sign in your head? You know, the polo sign is the guy on a horse, the jockey on a horse with the that's hitting like the ball. Like, and I said, who put that in your hair? He said, Bud did. And here it is this whole time. I'm thinking that he's just a barber that could just, just was basically just a good barber, a great barber, not a good barber, a great barber. He was putting these designs on your head in the shape. He was shaping them exactly the way they were. So a shout out to Bud in the barbershop, because the barbershop is a place of that not only young black men but men period, because he would cut anybody, he would cut everybody. As a matter of fact, in one of the videos I was talking about Ant is the white barber in the barbershop who's now an excellent barber. He's just this guy is just lights out, a good bar, takes his time, doesn't rush, gives you the proper haircut that you get, just like Bud will. Bud will give you the haircut. Let me stop this for a second. I'm sorry if I look like I'm high because of my eyes. I don't get high anymore. I don't smoke marijuana. I don't smoke cigarettes. That was a part of my life. I guess my eyes are this low because back in the day, they used to call me Chinaman. A couple of my friends used to call me Chinaman because of the way my eyes are slanted. If you look at my eyes, you could see that they're chinky, but I don't smoke. I don't smoke marijuana, and I probably never will. And I say probably because if I go on a vacation in one of the islands or something like that, I don't know what I'll pick up. I'll probably pick up a CBD joint or something like that. But I hope I never do because that's not a part of my life anymore. But back to the barbershop. A barbershop is a place of refuge for us men that talk about sports. Um, we talk very little about politics because politics just isn't our thing. We might say something about, well, it's 2021, February 3rd. So we might say a few things about Donald Trump and Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, and Mike Pence, here and there and stuff like that, because there's a lot of people in the barbershop that are actually up on the watching the news, watching MSNBC, or to some of the people that watch Fox News. I mean, it doesn't matter what you watch; it's fine as long as you're getting some insight of what's going on in the world today. This barbershop is located on a back street in Norristown. Actually, it's not. It's right. Yeah, it is. It's right off of a main street, and it's on Green Street, Green and Penn, between Green and Penn. So anybody that's looking for a good haircut, that's that's in this area, come to Bud's Barbershop, and or Bud will be able to give you the haircut that you want, no matter what. So, Buddy Epps is what we call him. We call him Buddy Epps. Is a heck of a man. This guy's got a beautiful heart, big heart. Will give you. He's one of those guys that, and I could never understand this because he's a big guy, but it's not no small guy. And I'm not talking fat. He's just a big burly guy who was one of the strongest guys in the neighborhood at that time. He was benching about 500 pounds to 400, I guess 495, 500 pounds. He, the barbershop, Bud is the person that, excuse me for a second, I can do something, and then I'll come back. Just give me a second here. Bud is the guy who would pay for, say there was a flag football league, and there's some great athletes in Norristown. Great athletes. These guys could throw a football a mile long. I think I was talking about Scotty Tags in one of my previous videos. He was one of those guys that were a quarterback. He probably wasn't even 5'7" tall, maybe about 5'6.5". Don't matter. Athlete out of the world. Run 100 miles an hour, right past everybody. And everybody knows this, so I'm not just bigging up, Shy to be bigging him up. I mean, he was that fast. As a matter of fact, I think he was on a track team and would run the 100-yard or the 100 meters, and was very, very good at it. Ran a very good time. These guys were just lightning fast. Bud was the kind of guy that would pay for jerseys. He would pay for cleats if you needed them. He's responsible for getting a lot of these guys, these young men in Norristown, PA, getting them into college. He would call up the recruiter, a college recruiter, or he would call up a college university and give his input on how good an athlete and how good of a person that the guy was, and would represent your school or given sport that he was supposed to be, that he was chosen to do, or that you might have given him a scholarship to do. Bud was one of those guys. He was one of those guys who would put in a, and not only give it to you 50%, he would go 100%. He would get these guys into colleges, uh, and these guys would come home. I would be sitting in the barbershop. These guys would come home from their college breaks and thank him about what he has done for them as far as getting them into school. And you know, a shout out to a lot of those guys in Norristown, because I'm from a town called Ambler. Ambler is a hop, skip, and a jump from Philadelphia. So Norristown's not too far from Philadelphia either. So here it is, you're thinking these guys, or all these guys that are coming into the barbershop, are street thugs, and these guys who probably who you don't think are smart, but these guys that are coming into the barbershop, intellectual, driven, and just had in them to where as though they wanted to do better in their life. And when Bud seen that in you, he would take that extra step to take you and to try to get you there where you wanted to go. And the barbershop's a fun place. We laugh, we joke. We always think we know more than everybody else about sports. We never really talk about, nobody really goes into the business of talking about the relationships as far as girls. So I want people to know this. When it comes to a black barbershop or a barbershop in general, maybe, I don't know. I've always been in this barbershop, which is mainly black. Um, we don't talk about girls. Or should I say, we don't disrespect girls. We don't disrespect women. We don't talk about, oh man, I did this that other night and I did this, and we're not going there. If we talk about a fun time, we talk about the dinner we had with the young lady, and maybe took her out to do some little dancing, or take her to a casino, and just try to have a good time. But no one would get overboard and talk about stuff that they shouldn't have been talking about. So the barbershop was mainly for sports, laughing, joking, uh, uh, just anything that was on your mind that you wanted to discuss and talk about. So I'm going to close this video out because uh, there's really too much. There's really not too much that I can think about that the barbershop is is about, other than going in there and having a good time, going in there, getting your hair cut, looking good, looking fly, and coming out and feeling good about yourself because you got that head shaved, got your beard all trimmed up. I do my beard myself because I went to barbering school and got a barbering license. But like I said, I was running the streets so much to where as though I felt as though I didn't need the barbershop. That I've had my license since 2005, and I let my license go because I let my license go because I was running the streets and didn't think that I needed the barbershop, didn't think that I needed to hone my craft. I went to school for it, I paid for it. And to be truthful with you, thought that I was making more money on the streets than I could in the barbershop. And that probably comes down to me just being lazy because, when you're doing what you're doing on the streets, you can wake up anytime you want and not have to cater to your customers like a barber has to. So I'm gonna close this out and say shout out to Buddy Epps for being the man, for being the guy that he is. Uh, Great family man, loves his grandkids. The grandkids are always over there. Flash is always in there. I remember she used to just whip. She used to whip in the barbershop. She used to run in the barbershop nonstop. So Bud gave her the nickname Flash. And she is just the cutest little girl. And her sister is also just very good souls, very good, beautiful women, beautiful little girls that just brings a smile to our face. And the guys in the barbershop, there's a store across the street that sells snacks and stuff like that. These girls in a second will get you to go across the street. They'll come with you and make sure that you get them what you said that you were going to get them. If you're going to walk them across the street, you best believe that you're going to get these girls. But I don't even think Flash is 4 years old and her older sister is 7 years old, maybe 6. And so, and shout out to the barbershop in general because, like his sister said, Tony, a long time ago, she said, Bud is a friend to people who don't have friends. And like I told you, a guy who was getting in trouble all the time, who was in the prison system, in and out of the prison system, because he didn't want to do right. That was me. I was one of those guys. So Bud would be a friend to anyone who he knew had a good heart and would support you and tried to make your life better. Guys who came through the barbershop and might have talked about they were doing this and that in the streets and whatever. He would entertain that thought for a second, but at the end of it, he would pretty much try to steer you on the right path. Uh, I'm looking at the clock right now. It's 18 minutes. I can't believe that I'm talking this long about things that I thought that I could complete in 5 minutes, 6, 7 minutes, no more than 10 minutes. But when you're talking about a certain subject and situations that are going on in your life, you come to realize that you have a lot more to say than you think that you could relate to the people and to the public out there that are listening. So if I'm boring you, I apologize for that because I promise to give you more. I promise to give you more energy, put more energy into my videos and relay my message to you. But this is the person that I am. I'm a laid back guy and never ever thought that I would be able to come onto the screen and talk about my life and my situations and what I went through in my life. So shout out to all, anybody listening. Matter of fact, hit the subscribe button and the like button because I'm going to be coming with more videos and and um, and I promise you that it's going to get better. I'm going to get better. I get anything that I'm saying because what I'm saying is coming from the top. It's coming from the heart, and it's actually what's on my mind at the time. And I hope that what I'm relaying, especially with the juvenile delinquent series that I talk about, I hope that you pick up from it and learn from it because what I've been through, even though with this face, a lot of people have said that they never would have thought that I've been through or done the things that I've done. But this is who I am. And I don't regret it because it brought me to this point to where still I can relay a message to you that I think needs to be put out there. So I'm going to close this video out and say peace to you all. And until next time, Stone Muscle checking out. Hit that like or subscribe button because we're going to keep coming. All right. Peace.